Hello, YouTube family and friends. Today, we're talking about what is my task when the world is falling apart? What is my task when the world is falling apart? What inspired this life? Well, the world is falling apart. If we just look around, we just see so much chaos, so much turmoil, so many institutions, systems, things that we have relied upon for forever, things that seem to have been just how things are and just how things are run, are crumbling down and are changing. And we are right in the middle of this, right? We just have to put on the news. Like, we just see so much happening. And, this very old notion of, yeah, they'll sort it out, they'll figure it out, is like slowly but surely crumbling as well, right? So the less the outside world is able to give us this sense of certainty and this sense of security and this sense of this is where things are going, because that is frankly spoken just not happening anymore. And the more the world stops being able to do that for us, the more the question emerges of what is my task actually? What is actually something that we have to do? What is actually something that I have to do? How is my role now changing? Because there are huge dynamic patterns that are changing right now between the individual, the system, between institutions and persons. And what we want to talk about today is precisely that. In those times, they just are what they are, right? In those times, how do we move? What does that mean for our everyday lives? What does that mean for my career? What does that mean for how I navigate even through the day? What does that mean for me? And today I want to share not just the tools and the practices that I use and teach, but also I want to give a little bit of background as to why they are important or how they actually function that make them so important. You see, when we are operating in a space of uncertainty, whatever that might be, and that is just like on a grand scale globally right now, right? If we are moving in a space of uncertainty and we cannot predict what is going to happen next, right? First of all, we kind of have to make peace with that. We just have to acknowledge that that is what is happening. The longer we hold on to this wishful thinking of, I wish this institution was like that. I wish the country, the government took care of it that way. I wish my employer was like this. I wish, the more we hold on to this, I'm going to get to that in a second. The more we hold on to this, the more we are holding on to a reality that is dissolving right now. You're on a sinking ship when you choose to stay on that pattern of thought, right? Simply because this is what it is right now. But at the same time, the place I'm speaking from is not defeat at all. At all. This is not me saying don't have any ideals on, when we say, oh, what if governments should be like this? It would be so nice. It's like, yeah, cool, true. But since they are not, what do we do? Since they are not, what do we do? How long do we want to stay in that space of like wishing for things to be because there ought to be like this, because this is the ideal that we have, right? We're speaking about a new world building individually from everybody's house, collectively new world building. This is where we are right now. And the longer we hold on to wishful thinking of things that are in fact dissolving right now, the longer we're staying in a disempowered state in ourselves. So hence why No, 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 we're not hopeless at all. We are not resigning at all. We're just smart enough to see what is happening and then see at which angles we can go at it. And the angle really is pointing back to ourselves. It's pointing back to ourselves because if you think about how these long-standing institutions have come to work in the first place, is that we always look to them and we always expected them and to do whatever they were doing, and we looked to them for safety, security, predictability, certainty. We always looked to them. So what we did not do in that motion was looked to us and into ourselves. And since that is now crumbling down, now is the chance for us to look within and look within, not with this old false notion of you're just so woo woo. You just sit down and like a crazy person and like do nothing. Like we have actually now entered a season of this world where looking in is strategy, where looking in is the most rational, well founded approach you can take. Because as the outside world map, the outside instructions are crumbling down and stop applying, what it is being replaced with is that consciousness now coming from within ourselves and then lived out through us and each collectively. This is the new world building that is happening. And we now have the choice, each and every one of us. Each of us has the choice, um, if they're aware of it, where they want to stand in all of this, right? And so, what I want to offer today is how I do it and how I teach it. Okay. So, when we talk about we want to look within, we see looking within now as strategy. What does that mean? Well, everything comes back to the premise that I keep giving out here is that we all come for a reason. We all come with very unique gifts and talents, ways of thinking, ways of being that are within, that are here because they're meant to come out to assist the world in this very world building motion that I was speaking of. It's evolution, right? It's just the next stage of our collective being, world consciousness, right? So once we notice that those things are not working anymore, okay, now we're looking inside. Everything is falling apart. That seems kind of crazy to do nothing and look within, doesn't it? It looks crazy because hello, don't you have to sketch out a plan and make a new strategy? And here's what I'm saying to you today. What I'm sharing with you today, the people who will be able to apply this for the right reasons are going to be the people who will be ahead of the pack. And the people who don't apply this, the people who will continue to rely on the outside and lose themselves in frustration and anger and sadness, as much compassion we have for that, for the people and the very human experience of that, the more the people are going to do that, the more they will be left behind. It's just the nature of things that we're facing currently. So the people that are making it ahead of the pack are the people who look within, yes, are the people who actually make time to uncover their very unique signal, their very unique frequency. We have all this talk about authenticity, authenticity this, authenticity that. That is not a fad. That is not just a trend. That is not just a random thing. The talk about it, even though people might not fully understand the implications, the whole, even the connections up to a spiritual level, even though they might not be aware of that, it is in our collective consciousness and in everybody's conversations for a reason. Authenticity is it. Same thing as what's the other thing? Fear of being seen, visibility wound. These are all words and terms that are being thrown around, not everybody fully understanding them, but they are clearly reflecting what is currently happening with us and what is important right now. So authenticity is literally your original signal, your original being. We come in here, and by the time we're adults, a lot of things happened, right? I'm not even talking about traumatic stuff. I'm saying even friend groups, school, educational system, kindergarten, university, workplace, news. By the time we're adults, so much happens. So there's so much programming that has happened. There's so much socialization that has happened, so much conditioning that has happened, so many things that primarily go here, ideas. So this is now the realms of ideas. But if you ever notice that ideas, if you do something in your mind, you didn't necessarily do it. If I think about cooking, frying an egg right now, it doesn't mean that I open my eyes and I have a fried egg in front of me, right? So that and this is two things, right? So saying this to say there's a lot of things that we have been conditioned with. So now when we talk about coming back to our original frequency, the state of our original being, who we really are, authenticity. Now we're talking about the thing that was there before all of that, before all of the conditioning, before all of the, oh, this is this love based on what I've experienced and with my parental figures. Oh, is this abundance or lack based on what I've experienced in my early years? Oh, is this what it is? Contrary to that, the original signal is what was there before all of that. That's the eternal part. That's the part that you came with, and that's the part that you're dipping with when you're done here in this physical form, right? Authenticity, your original frequency. Authenticity is not in everybody's conversation because everybody's what do they call it? They're jumping on the bandwagon. Did I get that right? I don't know. I just hear from people who get mad at other basketball team fans that weren't their fans before. And then because they won. It's not just that, it's that for a reason. We all talk about that for a reason. So this is about our original frequency. This is what we came with. This is who we are. So in that sense, you know, with that, not only are our gifts and talented our talents connected to that, all the stuff that I've been speaking about prior that the world needs from us, we're like, let's take it a step back before we even talk about what to do, our, divine assignment, what to actually make. Like before we talk about all of that, the thing that everything starts out with is your frequency. The thing that everything starts out with is your signal, is your original natural signal that you came with. And the people that can make time and space and commit to this, to their signal, are the people that are going to be ahead of the pack. Why? Because they're not buying into the strategies and the thinking and the plans and the world map that the institutions out there gave out that are now crumbling. That's a losing game. That's a losing game. You step into that, you already lost. You already lost just by stepping into their game, right? So I like to say frequency is the new strategy. Frequency is the new strategy. When everything is falling apart and it seems like crazy and it seems hopeless and stuff, now we also know that. No, actually, I have to tell you this. what you, what we have to say goodbye to, what we have to release, what we have to say goodbye to is this need to see ahead and plan and know for certain. Because that was an illusion and it was an illusion in the first place. But now we have this. Now it's easier to make this point because the institutions are crumbling. Things are crumbling. So it's easier now to say, listen, these plans don't make any sense. Don't rely on that and don't orient your life and your life plan and your career onto that. Don't say, I want to get into this because this is happening. That is fake. That is an illusion. It's dissolving right in front of our eyes. What we have to say goodbye to, what we have to release, what we have to be okay with letting go now is this need to know every step because it is an illusion. And I understand the fears are active, the fears are strong. It's the fear. Fear is the entity, the whatever that wants to make these plans, right? To control things. That's what it tells you. If you can't control it, then you don't have to be scared. But it's an illusion. It's simply an illusion. So, what we want to do instead is to understand or talk about more about this concept of frequency as strategy. And strategy, we like to think is something that you make a plan, you go ABC, you make you make milestones, you create a project plan, whatever that is. This is what we like to look at strategy like in the old world. And while this still has its place, like I'm not telling you as a project manager now to stop making a project plan and define milestones to put the team on. That's not what I'm saying. You still want to do that, right? But I'm talking about a general approach to life, as a fundamental principle approach to life, how I am looking at my life and how I'm navigating and how I'm moving ahead. This is where I'm saying the need for a plan is not matching the situation anymore. So, what we do in a situation like this is what I said, we look within and we focus on our frequency. And the tool for this is simple. It's to sit down and be with yourself. You can also stand, you can also lay, you can also walk. I don't care what it is. The tools to this will always be the same. Everything I'm sharing on this channel will always come back to the very basic teachings of meditation. Sitting down, setting an alarm clock, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the beginning, preferably in the morning, preferably in the morning before all the crazy stuff comes in, preferably in the morning, and learning how to just be with ourselves and learning how to just notice and be aware of our very own being without judgment, without planning, without interfering with anything, practicing to simply be. Practicing to simply notice without mingling with it and just letting it go again. And through that, you will start to see how, oh, okay, this thought came and left again. This feeling came and left again. None of these things are actually permanent. Everything comes and goes. And when you see that enough times, you start to develop a different quality of confidence, a different quality of groundedness that is not so fluctuating anymore, that is not so fleeting anymore, that is grounded in a more steady thing. And the more steady thing is your original frequency, is who you really are, is who you really are, is who you really are. So again, the tools will always be the same. I'm always going to tell you the same thing in a different form. It is to sit down and to be with yourself. But what I want to add with this live and this conversation that we're having today is really more that added layer of understanding of why, right? why this is helpful. And it is because as the outside sense of security is dissolving, this is the way of creating a sense of security, of real security from within. This is how you do it. So, my practical advice to everyone that comes across me, be it literally in my personal life or the people that I work with, the people that I coach and teach, take that time to sit down. Take the time to sit down because from there, when you are practicing your very own frequency, you begin to be able to access the next steps. You will be able to, you'll begin to see not just the next steps, but the next steps that are indigenous to you, that belong to your path. This is why we do it. This is why we do it. It's not just a momentary relief from the crazy world. It's that also. It's not just a soothing of the soul that is tired and sad. It is that also. It's not just, doing this to have a moment of rest. It is that also. But we are actually doing this from the perspective of this is how we're moving the smartest and most strategic way. Real talk. This is what it is. So when you do that, then you will see how, over time, you can't force it. You just have to put the time in, right? You will see that over time, you will begin to experience a different form of security, a different form of certainty from within. And that certainty was never not there. It has always been there. It is just our attention that has always been diverted to the outside. And the more we get on our phones, the worse it gets because our attention just keeps being thrown out. But if we can bundle that attention and look within, oh my God, we will begin to see not just our very signal, but as I said, also the very next steps that are for you, the very next steps that are designed to be in your life that will lead to the life design you're inherently meant to live, to express, to create, the original design that you came with, that you came born with, that you came to manifest in this world, the design that has attached to it the exact signature of success in relationships, in the world, in career, in everything. It's exactly the frequency, the expressed manifestation of that frequency that you were with. It is yours. And we are now in the times where we are called to step into that. Like all of this, we can definitely carry this perspective of everything is horrible and crazy. And it is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. But these times also present us with a chance and an opportunity. Because in these times now, what I'm telling you now, this truth is timeless, has been true 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, in 5,000 years. This is universal truth, right? It's eternal soul truth. But we're now living in times where, because things are not working anymore the way they did, it is easier to let it in. It is easier to allow it. It is easier to at least be like, you know what? Let me give it a try because I tried everything else. It's falling apart, right? So these times are also presenting us with a chance. These times are presenting us with a great opportunity to step into this timeless truth and live it in our everyday lives. So, yeah, my advice is the same as always. Guys, sit down in the morning for 15 minutes at least. You can always do more if you want. Start with 15. Set an alarm clock. Do it in the morning if you can. Whatever you can, man. If you end up doing it later because you didn't have time before, every time we sit down and practice, our original frequency is a win. Okay? Keep doing that. Keep doing that, keep adding to it. There's no right or wrong. There's no, oh, I'm good at this, I'm not bad at this, I'm not good at this. I was successful in this session, I wasn't successful. Every time we sit down and do it is a success. This is how we have to redefine and reorient our understanding of success when we are devoted to success, the real success, the success that is written in each of our souls, that is designed to, when we live it out, growing the whole planet, growing consciousness of the whole planet. This is the type of success, the win, win, win success. I win, everybody wins success. It's real. It's a real thing. Okay. And we can now step into it. So, that's it for today. I hope you guys can work with it. Like, comment, share this whole thing, and I'll see you guys in the next live.